I hosted a Pokemon TCG Invitational where 16 players, myself included, competed in a double elimination bracket for $240 in prizes. I rocked up to the event with this Eevee box list, playing a funny tech of Glass Trumpet plus End's Plan for the ability to burst a big attacker into play late game. We start off the run versus Emma Hagen, who is playing Gardevoir. They won the coin flip and opted to go first, so I was able to boss KO Ralts with Fan Rotom turn 1. They take their turn 2 to grab Secret Box and Evo TM up into 1 Kirlia, which I am able to boss and KO with Burning Charge on my turn 2 as well. They Iono and then try to Gustala Noctowl, but they Iono'd us into Turo, so we can just KO with Burning Charge again.
Do it again.
They are able to respond on the next turn with Candy into Gardevoir and swing for 180 into my active with Balloon Burst from Drifloon. So I simply get another Flareon down and KO with Burning Charge again.
Do it again.
There seems to be a theme here. They respond by Roaring Screaming one of my benched Hoot Hoots, so we preemptively grab Gravity Mountain, Night Stretcher to get back a Hoot Hoot, and Burning Charge to KO once again.
Do it again.
They attempt to confuse us with Mind Bend, but we've been holding on to switch, so we just switch into the other Flareon and take the last KO.
Do it again.
Gaining me my redemption from my loss to her in the charity match we had on the prior weekend. We then are paired into Online Mickey Tournament extraordinaire Callie Moore, who is also playing Gardevoir. They do go second, but with Evo TM turn 1, so I take the initial KO on Screamtail with Burning Charge to set up benched EVEX. They respond with a Roaring Scream KO on my only remaining Hoot Hoot, making it harder for me to access the resources I need. I respond by KOing Monkey Dory with Burning Charge, but since I don't have Lightning Energy available to me, I don't have access to Carnelian yet. They KO my active with Genome Hacking, copying Carnelian, and I proceed to make a massive misplay on this next turn by taking a KO on the Mew with Terrapagos and playing into them being able to win off Countercatcher, where if I Countercatcher KO'd Monkey Dory, we'd have been on even prizes and they'd have no way to gust around my Crown Opal effect. Oh well, we drop into the losers bracket now. Game 3, we're up against Sebastian Lashmet. And this game I'm going second again. Turn 1, they get down 2 Ralts and pass, and we notice that we've prized 2 Hoot Hoot on our first deck search, which makes this matchup particularly difficult because it makes my board extremely weak to Screamtail after I evolve up my first Noctowl. We play Crispin and retreat into Eevee to Colorful Friends and set ourselves up for the following turn by grabbing Flareon, Eevee, and Latias. They evolve into 2 Kirlias, and it's back to our turn again, where we Noctowl to search our deck and realize that our Lightning is prized again, which is going to make utilizing Carnelian more difficult. So we boss Burning Charge a Kirlia and set up onto our benched EVEX. They respond by sniping our lone Hoot Hoot as we expected on their turn, so we just respond by using another Burning Charge into their active Screamtail.
Do it again.
They manage to KO my Flareon with some Monkey Math and Lily's Clefairy, so we respond with a Carnelian on one of their Gardevoirs. Sebastian then Ionos us and takes KO on Flareon with Gardevoir after 3 Monkey Dory pings, and we whiff the response. So we lose to their follow-up KO on Hoot Hoot with Monkey Dory. So we're out of the tournament at this point, but we're not done yet, because this is my invitational. So we jump straight from playing into casting. We hop into casting winners finals, which is Jinch's Charizard against Caleb's Tera Box, just a few minutes into the game, and immediately we see something very strange. A sparkling crystal on a Hoot Hoot. Apparently it was meant to be attached to the Wellspring, but was misclicked onto the Hoot Hoot. Unfortunate, but was a funny thing to join in on. Jinch takes this turn to Evo TM up into 1 Charmeleon, having no other available Evo options. But this does set him up for a guaranteed Charizard on the next turn paired with the Arven in hand. Caleb responds with an Assault Landing KOing the active Charmander, taking his second prize of the game. Jinch evens up the game by being able to Countercatcher up Caleb's Pheasantipede and KO it. Caleb responds by KOing the active Charizard with Teal Mask, going down to his last 2 prizes. Jinch realizes that Caleb's win condition here is to KO Fez with Blood Moon. So he gets down Chi-Yu, Infernal Rains to set it up, and quick searches for Turo to remove his Fez from the field, and take the Teal Mask KO with Chi-Yu, also going down to 2 remaining prizes. Caleb responds by Saw blocking the Chi-Yu in place, and Jinch responds by getting back Monkey Dory to remove some Sob damage and Ionoing Caleb down to 2 cards in hand. Caleb sobs again, and after a max belt top deck from Jinch, he's able to quick search for boss up Teal Mask, move damage to it from Monkey Dory, and take the KO on it with Chi-Yu plus max belt, solidifying Jinch's spot in Grand Finals, and sending Caleb down to Losers Finals to await the other losers who are still playing it out. In Losers Round 4, Callie unfortunately gets knocked out by Sunny because she prized double Gardevoir versus Sunny's Go. And on the other half of Losers Round 4, Licia prizes 3 Dreepy in the Gardevoir matchup, and almost manages to claw it back with a heads-up Blood Moon plus Dusclops KO on Gardevoir. But Sebastian was able to respond with Candy Guardy to take the last 2-prize KO on Blood Moon for game, meaning that Losers Semis will be Sunny TCG versus Sebastian Lashmet. So after screaming at Sunny to actually share his screen for a few minutes, "Sunny, where are you? Sunny, why? Come on, Sunny. I literally need to stream you. This was the agreement to this." We jump into casting the Losers semi-game. Sunny opts to go second and manage to turn 1 Budu Sebastian, and Sebastian responds with an Iono to find Evo TM to evolve up his bench Ralts into Kirlia. So Sunny gets down Ace Nullifier Genesect to lock Sebastian out of using Secret Box for the game, and KOs the active Monkey Dory with Make It Rain. Sebastian isn't able to find a Guardy, so he countercatchers up the Genesect EX and passes. Sunny has an Air Balloon in hand, so he's able to retreat into Go and boss KO Sebastian's Kirlia. Sebastian responds by using Mind Bend on the active, which puts Sunny in the awkward position where he needs to retreat into a fresh Go and KO active rather than targeting down Sebastian's lone Ralts. Unfortunately, Sebastian isn't able to find Candy Guardy, so he has to pass again, letting Sunny Turo his 1 liability in Budu before he takes another 1-prize KO and goes down to 2 remaining prizes. Sebastian is finally able to get a Guardian to play, Iono Sunny down to 2, and set up a Drifloon to swing for KO on a Go. But Sunny top decks Nest Ball for Fez and draws out of the Iono, but with Superior for game, giving Sebastian the opportunity to gust up Fez and Iono Sunny to 1, setting up for a 4-prize turn on the following turn. Luckily, Sunny managed to get Boss plus Superior to close out the game with the 1-prize KO on Monkey Dory, moving Sunny onto Losers Finals in this surprisingly close set. Now, Losers Finals is Sunny's Go versus Caleb's Tera Box. But unfortunately for Sunny, Caleb is playing Cornerstone in his deck. And if you don't know what that means for Sunny, I'll let this game speak for itself. Now we're on to Grand Finals, and while Caleb gets a solid turn 1, Jinch has a very awkward starting hand and has to Cleffa to draw out of it. Caleb responds promptly with a Torrential Pump to KO the Cleffa, and Jinch's lone Charmander. Jinch is able to regain some tempo for himself by being able to get down another 2 Charmanders and a Pidgey, but as he top-decked Pidgeotto, he only has 1 Evo TM target in deck, so he gets evolved into 1 Charmeleon on the bench. Caleb swings with Torrential Pump again, taking out Jinch's active Chi-Yu and Pidgey, leaving Jinch with just a Charmander and a Charmeleon. Jinch is able to candy up the Charmander and take the 2-prize KO on Wellspring. Caleb whiffs the Teal Mask KO on the following turn, so he softens up the Zard with Assault Landing, and Jinch is able to chase down the almost set up Teal Mask to KO it. But Caleb manages to pull off a 3-energy Mew on the following turn to copy Burning Darkness for 300 damage, winning Caleb the game, and resetting the bracket. Now onto the bracket reset, which, honestly, this final game was so good, I'm just gonna leave the full match in with commentary. Please enjoy. It's all down to this, though. Who's gonna take home the 120? Will it be Caleb or Jinch? They unintentionally played a best of 3. If Caleb lost in losers, then it wouldn't have been a best of 3. It would have broken it apart, but this makes for a pretty good storyline, I will say. All right. So Pidgey against Hoot Hoot, 2 birds immediately into it. Gonna be a nest ball for Fan Rotom most likely, assuming that they're not both prized. And this is a much better hand for Jinch than last game, because Buddy Buddy Poffin Energy Arvin is going to get him all that he needs for this. Being able to evolve up double evolution immediately is going to be super strong for Jinch. Then after this, I gotta make the graphic. And then post it to Twitter. Alright. Not sure what his hand is looking like, but based on whatever his hand is, it's going to be some combination of Hoot Hoots, Noctowls, and maybe Ditto? I think he plays Ditto? Yeah, he plays Ditto. I do really like Caleb's list. I think Caleb's list is like one of the best Tera Box lists right now. Alright. Down comes the Wellspring. Now the real question is, which Mons does he opt to go for? It's gotta be 3 Charmanders, right? Just to avoid, like, a boss Sparkling Crystal attached play. Yeah. No Shaman does make it kind of awkward, though. Because if he had Shaman, then he could avoid the immediate Torrential Pump here. Now the issue here is, even grabbing a Pidgey, it just makes both of them targets. Because then, the Torrential Pump 100% goes into double Pidgey. The only thing that I could see would be maybe retreating into Cleffa and just drawing instead of doing the evolution. Or maybe just going for double Charmeleon might have been the better play. Because this just gets double Torrential Pumped here. There's definitely a world I could have seen just retreating into Cleffa here. Ooh, Air Balloon on that. Alright. Sorry, I'll stop making annoying noises and just commentate the game. Alright. So, Crispin onto these two, or 2 onto this, is going to be able to take Pidgey and Pidgeotto knockout, which is going to be huge. However, Jinch does have a solid response to this in being able to just evolve into the Charizard here and swing. If they choose to opt for knocking out the Charmeleon and the Pidgey, then they could just evolve into Pidgeot and grab Candy. But they don't need to because they've just targeted both of the birds, so now it's just going to be Zards on the field. The scary thing, though, is that this Teal Mask already has an energy on it. So yeah, this has gotta be just another Charmeleon here, or the Fez. The Fez is also solid here, I feel. But it does open up Caleb to be able to use the Teal Mask to KO the Charizard and then follow it up with a KO on the Fez. But yeah, just 2 onto itself. Using Fez, drawing 3, refreshing the hand a wee bit. Is the Artisan worth here? The boss is super nice. Like, being able to KO that Teal Mask, I think, is the strongest thing right now. Getting another Pidgey down to try and be able to get that Pidgeot EX off later, I also think is a super solid play. So this was just Burning Darkness into the Wellspring. This does make it where it's possible to be able to Chi-Yu KO the Teal Mask, which could be what Jinch is going for here. Because most likely, with the energy already on it, this Teal Mask will most likely be able to get this KO here. Alright, Pika coming down. That's one that can definitely buy turns. But this is just going to be a Crispin being able to get at least one more grass energy off here. Probably grabbing Metal or Lightning to put onto the Pika here. There might already be a grass and discard, in which case all they need to do is attach. Yeah, there's Lightning onto this, Teal Dance here, and then all they need is a grass, which they might already have. Night Striker for grass, yeah, that makes sense. And then Retreat KO.
Hey, Norman.
Okay, so Jinch needs a lot here. Jinch needs Candy Zard Chi-Yu. He has the Chi-Yu off of Artisan here. Yeah. It would probably be best to attach Retreat into the Chi-Yu preemptively. So flip the script. Okay, there's the Zards. So he can guarantee Candy off of Arven here. So you could go Arven for Candy, First of all, I would attach Retreat. Attach Retreat, Arven, Candy, Candy, put 1 on the Zard and 2 on the Chi-Yu. That's 100% what he goes for here. What's the set score? It's bracket reset finals, so this is the last game. The last game, period. Yeah, this was a best of 3 16-person double elimination invitational. So essentially the last match is the only one that's a quote-unquote best of 3. So Caleb won the bracket reset, and then now they're in Grand Finals bracket reset. Well, Caleb won Grand Finals into bracket reset Grand Finals, is what I meant to say. But yeah. Yeah, Arven for Candy here, Retreat, and then Candy Zard. Accelerate 2 to Chi-Yu, accelerate 1 to... that... The Iono is... definitely really risky here. I don't know. I think I would have just guaranteed the swing there. No candy. There's no candy. I don't know. Is this just Blazing Destruction? Remove the stadium, maybe? Because, like, I feel like I would have just taken the 2-prize KO with the 1-prizer. I don't know. Because now this Ogre... Well, I mean, I guess they could just swing with the Zard after it's down to 1, and they can Iono to 1 off of this. Okay. That was interesting. It's leaving 2 potential attackers, but that boss is potentially huge. It's just Blazing Destruction here, and then hope you get the Zard after, I'm sure. Because if you get the Zard here, then you can boss up the Teal Mask and deal with it. Like, Ionoing away the boss would just not be great here. It actually gives them more cards, because they had 0 in hand. Both these players are playing this super smart. Just trying to let this Charmander go down so you can get the Fez off of it is also super nice. Okay. Do we see the Zard here? No Zard yet. This could be bench Artisan and then discard the Artisan, but... Or not bench it, play it. You get what I mean. Chat gets what I mean. Ooh, there's the Ultra Balls for the Noctowl. The question is, do they have it here? Do they have either a Metal or a Grass in discard? Oh, they're grabbing Fez. Okay. I see it, I see it. There's the Candy. I don't know. I think now the Iono does make sense, because there's the Fez already in hand. And there's the boss off of it. That does make sense. I feel like maybe attaching the fire here? I don't know. Well, I guess, like, you could just attach it reactively based on how many energy you have in deck off of the evolution. No Zard yet, but they do have Arven. Arven to be able to establish the Pidgeot here, I think, is strong. Arven for Candy Pidgeot. And then you can grab the Zard and then be fine there. The question is whether or not they just grab and evolve Zard now, or wait on it. Because if they grab and evolve Zard now, it makes them susceptible to boss plus 1 energy on Teal Mask, but if they don't evolve it, it makes them susceptible to them just KOing the Charmeleon off of it, because they know that they're down all of their candies at this point. Or are they? Is there 2 left in deck or 1? I wasn't fully paying attention there. I did see Candy left in deck, but I don't know if there were 2 or 1. There might have been 2. At this point, I feel like the attachment is onto the Charmeleon, just in case there's none left. That's what I would do, at least, at this point. Yeah, that's where I would put it. Yeah, I feel like ending turn is fine there, because you can just countercatcher the Teal Mask on this turn. And you could pair that with an Iono if you have Iono left. Oh, there was another Candy. Okay. This, I think, is probably the Zard turn. Yeah, the Chi-Yu is a little out of range of KOing with this Max Belt, which is an important thing to note. So the question is just whether or not you KO now or after. I do think this is fine, though. Because you can grab double here. Put one there. And you save the one in hand to be able to retreat off of Fez or Chi-Yu if need be. This is Counter Catcher onto the Teal Mask at this point. Meaning you still have boss for the next turn. If they do bench Fez, and then whiff off of it, then you have game off that. Well, you'd have game anyway, because you have the Pidgeot. The Pika is scary here, though, because if they have boss plus metal, they have it. Alright. So they grab Mist Energy here. Well, they haven't locked that in yet, but I'm assuming this is to stop Soblock. Which could be relevant on either of them, so holding it in hand makes sense. They could Turo the Fez, which I think is strongest, but they do still lose to Pika KOing them. Alright. Is this boss onto Pika? Oh, boss the Hoot Hoot, maybe? I mean, the Hoot Hoot does also make sense, but hitting the Pika also makes it where they don't get access to Counter Catcher off of this. But KOing the Hoot Hoot stops them from just grabbing the pieces they need. So I think this does make sense. Maybe swinging with, like, the Charmeleon, maybe? But there was no way to get out of active, so I guess that's not, like, a great play. Because then if it goes down, you just don't have an attacker. Alright, Fez is coming down, which means that the game is over between this turn and next turn. If they get what they need, they win. If they don't get what they need, then Jinch wins. Do they have it here? They're looking for metal. Or just Gust. It's one of the two. They were able to draw 4. And they need metal plus Gust to win the game. Oh, there's metal. They either have Gust or they... Ooh, okay. They didn't have Gust. So this is just to try and buy time. But they just have Boss. So that is it. Jinch wins the entire thing. Caleb comes second and Sunny comes third. Absolutely insane set. Alright. And there you have it! Jinch takes the tournament and wins himself $120, Caleb comes second making $75, and Sunny comes in third for $45. Thank you all for watching, and thanks to all the players for playing. I'll have all their Twitters in the description as well. If you liked this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you want to see all the matches from the Invitational in depth, I'll also have the full VOD over on my VODs channel, OnGaard Live. Thank you all for watching again, and I'll catch you all later.